Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Paul Nair. This morning, I'd like to share with you something, and that is life insurance. What's your magic number? Now, why do I say that? Well, your magic number of life insurance will be totally different than your neighbors. Now, how do we calculate how much life insurance does a person need? Now, what you have to do is actually very simple. You take your monthly contributions, your financial monthly contributions, not your monthly income, right? Your monthly financial contributions to your family. Now, assuming it's 30,000, minus of whatever that would not be required when you die, assuming you have a mortgage reducing term assurance on your home and you are the person who taken out the loan, and when you die the loan will be fully paid up. So which means that amount that you are paying every month for the loan, you need to minus it off from your 30,000. So assuming you're left with 25,000, just say you earn a monthly income of 100,000, but you are contributing financially to the home 25,000. Now, how much of life insurance do you need? A minimum. I'm looking at minimum. Now, minimum would be your 25,000, you times it by 12 months, which would give you 300,000. Now, minimum income replacement to your family, if you say it's 5 years, then you need to have 1.5 million worth of life insurance. Now, you might say, yes, but I've got $500,000 in my fixed deposit, in my bank, in other investments, and it comes out a total about 800,000. Fine. Then you take the 1.5 million that is required and you minus off what you already have. It will give you a net total of maybe 500,000. Now check and see in your insurance policy whether you have at least 500,000 coverage for your family. Why do I say 5 years? Now 5 years is not the end of the story because your family needs to go on. 5 years is a minimum. Now from the time I've been in insurance, which has been more than 25 years, most of the people I have met, you can easily say 9 out of 10, don't even have $500,000, let aside insurance, $500,000 cash as an income replacement for their family. They don't have. Okay, some might have 200,000 life insurance and 100,000 cash in bank. But I am looking at the minimum contribution you are giving to your family every month, times it by 12 months and times it by 5 years. Now, if you don't have that in place, kindly get that done immediately, because when a person passes away, the remaining spouse, the wife or the husband, would need immediate cash, and money in your bank will be frozen by the bank once they find out that this person, the account holder, has passed away. Now your EPF, if you have nominated your spouse, will also take about a week or 10 days. And if you have got assets like property, it can take up to 2 to 3 years for the deal to be finalized. And property is not something that you can liquidate immediately, because number one, you got to find out whether you have done a will. Number two, you must find out there are a lot of things to do with the land office which will take a considerable amount of time, and how fast do your lawyers work at it. And at the same time, the market might not be favorable to sell your property at the time that your spouse passes away. So do not bank on property so much, because property needs time to liquidate, and property has got to be sold at the right time when property markets are favorable, which means the cash at hand, the fastest would be your life insurance policy. Now, for those of you who feel that life insurance is a bit difficult to pay, Let me tell you, if you do the maths, simple maths, right? Get a quotation for, say, a $1 million policy. It might cost you maybe 20,000 a year. Even if you times it by 30 years, you're only paying 600,000. If you're paying it for 40 years, you're still paying 800,000. But the policy is worth ₦1,000,000. There is no way that you will lose. The only way you will lose if you stop paying your premiums. So life insurance actually is it's like magic, you know. You put in X amount of dollars and you get back so much more. Now all of us have to go, we have to die at one time in our life, at any one time in our life. We just do not know when, but it will happen to all of us. So you are not exempt either. Every time you go for a funeral, and when you wish your condolences to the family members, you hug them, always be reminded that your time is also coming. And your family needs to go on. The utility bills do not stop just because you stop. Your car loans don't stop. Your children's food and clothing don't stop. All these bills need to be paid either while you are alive or when you are no longer alive. It still has to be paid by someone. So I would strongly suggest both spouses, husband and wife, to look at your monthly contributions to your family and see whether you have got 5 years of contributions set aside in terms of an insurance policy, or at least you have that money in the bank. Now, for those of you who may be thinking that, I'm still young, I'm only in my 40s, my dad passed away when he was 85, I got a lot of more years to think about life insurance. Well, you don't, because the number of claims I have done, extremely healthy people, okay, if you look at them, you would not know that they were going to go away in the next week or so. I spoke to one guy, he was in the gym, and this is a true story, I'm not lying to you, and he was a lawyer, and he was in his, I would say, the prime of his life, really, really, really fit guy. And when I heard that he passed away, I was really, really shocked, because he was my family lawyer for a few years, and I was really shocked. So you do not know when, you don't know how, but we all have to go. So look at your children in the eye, look at your wife in the eye, and if you still want them to eat the same food, stay in the same house, have the same lifestyle that you have accustomed them to, then you only owe them that amount, the same kind of lifestyle, the same kind of food, same place where they stay, they don't have to move, they can sit in the same car, they can go to the same school, nothing really changes for them except for the fact that you will not be around. But at least your income should not stop because you have stopped. It must go on. Now, how long you want it to go on, that you and your spouse have to sit down and discuss. Okay, if you want to leave her a minimum of 5 years income replacement, that's well and good. If you can afford a little more, maybe 10 years, then sit down and discuss. Call your agent and find out what are the premiums like and how many years you would like this plan to be for. Now, you can, if you want something a bit more lower in premiums, you could opt for term insurance, but term insurance is for a fixed amount of time. So it's always advisable to go for something that is permanent in nature, whole life or permanent in nature investment linked plan that will cover you away after your 80th birthday. It'll still cover you, and that's something we're looking at. And with that, this is a very short video, just to let you know that in case you are thinking, and you have been thinking all this while, that yes, I have got life insurance, I've got 200,000, I got 500,000, I've got ₦1,000,000. If you have ₦1,000,000 life insurance policy, it might be a lot to you. But if your monthly contributions to your family is already 50,000 a month, that 1 million will not last your wife more than 1.5 years, my friend. So when you die, you're not going to come back after 1.5 years. So take it very seriously, what I'm telling you, because this is not something to be taken lightly. Death is serious. When you leave, of course your family will mourn your loss, you're gone. But they should not mourn, they should not yearn for the lifestyle that you have created for them. That is your duty and your responsibility, to make sure that they live in the same house, they're able to go in the same car, they're able to eat the same food, and they're able to wear the same clothes, the kind of clothes you used to buy for them. And at least the loss of you as a parent will not be felt so much, because everything else remains the same. But if by you dying, they have to move house, they have to sell the car, they have to change the school, then the loss of you as a father or a mother is much more for the child, because nothing is going to be familiar to them anymore. Nothing. So please think about it. As I mentioned many times, these videos that I create, my intention is not to sell any policy to you, but is to create an awareness. Don't take this life like a joke. It's not. Everything is good and well when we are alive, but when you go to a funeral home, you will see a different side of the widow or the widower. And if it's a woman and the husband has been providing for her well, I pray to God that He has done the same to provide for her when He is gone. Because if you visit two widows and you see one living very well off, and one is living a very harsh life, a very high chance the difference between the two, one, the spouse provided adequate amount of life insurance, the other one was intending to, wanted to, planning to, but didn't get around to do it in time. And death never gives you a warning call. It never calls you one day earlier. When it comes, and the people who are left behind. My concern is for your children and for the spouse that's left behind. Please take it seriously and call your agent, call him today if possible, and check with him and talk to your spouse and do something for your family before it's too late. With that, I bid you adios. Till our next video. Bye-bye.